Good evening, and welcome to Third Church of Christ Scientist of New York City. Let's begin with singing hymn number 12. Arise, ye people, take your stand, cast out your idols from the land. Above all doctrine, form, or creed is found the truth that meets your need. Christ's promise stands. They that believe his works shall do, his power receive. Number 12. I'll read from the Bible and from Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures by Mary Baker Eddy. The subject of this evening's readings is work. The Bible, Ecclesiastes. I said in mine heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. Matthew. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, Behold, a man gluttonous and a winebibber, a friend of publicans and sinners. But wisdom is justified of her children. Then began he to upbraid the cities wherein most of his mighty works were done, because they repented not. Woe unto thee, Chorazin! Woe unto thee, Bethsaida! For if the mighty works which were done in you had been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes. But I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon at the day of judgment than for you. And thou, Capernaum, which art exalted unto heaven, shalt be brought down to hell. For if the mighty works which have been done in thee had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. But I say unto you, that it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom in the day of judgment than for thee. At that time, Jesus answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, for it seemed good in thy sight. All things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father. Neither knoweth any man the Father, save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. John. And when even was now come, his disciples went down unto the sea, and entered into a ship, and went over the sea toward Capernaum. And it was now dark, and Jesus was not come to them. And the sea arose by reason of a great wind that blew. So when they had rowed about 25 or 30 furlongs, they see Jesus walking on the sea and drawing nigh unto the ship, and they were afraid. But he saith unto them, It is I, be not afraid. Then they willingly received him into the ship, and immediately the ship was at the land whither they went. When the people therefore saw that Jesus was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping and came to Capernaum, seeking for Jesus. And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when camest thou hither? Jesus answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath God the Father sealed. Then said they unto him, What shall we do that we might work the works of God? Jesus answered and said unto them, This is the work of God, that ye believe on him whom he hath sent. They said therefore unto him, What sign showest thou then, that we may see and believe thee? What dost thou work? Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, He gave them bread from heaven to eat. Then Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is he which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world. Then said they unto him, Lord, evermore give us this bread. And Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. But I said unto you that ye also have seen me, and believe not. For I came down from heaven, not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me. And this is the will of him that sent me, that every one which seeth the Son and believeth on him may have everlasting life. The Jews then murmured at him because he said, I am the bread which came down from heaven. And they said, Is not this Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How is it then that he saith, I came down from heaven? Jesus therefore answered and said unto them, Murmur not among yourselves. No man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. It is written in the prophets, and they shall be all taught of God. Every man, therefore, that hath heard and hath learned of the Father cometh unto me. It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit, and they are life. And as Jesus passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, Neither hath this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of God should be made manifest in him. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. When he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay, and said unto him, Go, wash in the pool of Siloam, which is by interpretation, sent. He went his way, therefore, and washed, and came seeing. The neighbors, therefore, and they which before had seen him that he was blind, said, Is not this he that sat and begged? Some said, This is he. Others said, He is like him. But he said, I am he. Therefore said they unto him, How were thine eyes opened? He answered and said, A man that is called Jesus made clay and anointed mine eyes, and said unto me, Go to the pool of Siloam and wash. And I went and washed, and I received sight. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And whither I go, ye know, and the way ye know. Thomas saith unto him, Lord, we know not whither thou goest, and how can we know the way? Jesus saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. If ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also. And from henceforth ye know him and have seen him. Philip saith unto him, Lord, show us the Father, and it sufficeth us. Jesus saith unto him, Have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou then, Show us the Father? Believest thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very works' sake. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. And whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If ye love me, keep my commandments. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another Comforter, that he may abide with you forever, even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him. But ye know him, for he dwelleth with you, and shall be in you. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. Yet a little while, and the world seeth me no more. but ye see me. Because I live, ye shall live also. At that day ye shall know that I am in my Father, and ye in me, and I in you. Then Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do. For what things soever he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise. For the Father loveth the Son, and showeth him all things that himself doeth. And he will show him greater works than these, that ye may marvel. Philippians. I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. Romans. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. I'll now read correlative passages from the Christian Science textbook, Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures, by Mary Baker Eddy. Christian experience teaches faith in the right and disbelief in the wrong. It bids us work the more earnestly in times of persecution, because then our labor is more needed. If our petitions are sincere, we labor for what we ask, and our Father, who seeth in secret, will reward us openly. We should relieve our minds from the depressing thought that we have transgressed a material law and must of necessity pay the penalty. Let us reassure ourselves with the law of love. God never punishes man for doing right, for honest labor, or for deeds of kindness, though they expose him to fatigue, cold, heat, contagion. If man seems to incur the penalty through matter, this is but a belief of mortal mind, not an enactment of wisdom, and man has only to enter his protest against this belief in order to annul it. Through this action of thought and its results upon the body, the student will prove to himself, by small beginnings, the grand verities of Christian Science. I love mankind and shall continue to labor and to endure. The calm, strong currents of true spirituality, the manifestations of which are health, purity, and self-immolation, must deepen human experience until the beliefs of material existence are seen to be a bald imposition, and sin, disease, and death give everlasting place to the scientific demonstration of divine spirit and to God's spiritual perfect man. What we most need is the prayer of fervent desire for growth in grace, expressed in patience, meekness, love, and good deeds. To keep the commandments of our Master and follow his example is our proper debt to him and the only worthy evidence of our gratitude for all that he has done. Outward worship is not of itself sufficient to express loyal and heartfelt gratitude, since he has said, "If ye love me, keep my commandments." The habitual struggle to be always good is unceasing prayer. Its motives are made manifest in the blessings they bring, blessings which, even if not acknowledged in audible words, attest our worthiness to be partakers of love. Simply asking that we may love God will never make us love him, but the longing to be better and holier, expressed in daily watchfulness and in striving to assimilate more of the divine character, will mold and fashion us anew until we awake in his likeness. We reach the science of Christianity through demonstration of the divine nature. But in this wicked world, goodness will be evil spoken of, and patience must bring experience. Audible prayer can never do the works of spiritual understanding which regenerates, but silent prayer, watchfulness, and devout obedience enable us to follow Jesus' example. If truth is overcoming error in your daily walk and conversation, you can finally say, I have fought a good fight. I have kept the faith, because you are a better man. This is having our part in the at-one-ment with truth and love. Christians do not continue to labor and pray, expecting because of another's goodness, suffering, and triumph, that they shall reach his harmony and reward. If the disciple is advancing spiritually, he is striving to enter in. He constantly turns away from material sense and looks towards the imperishable things of spirit. If honest, he will be in earnest from the start and gain a little each day in the right direction till at last he finishes his course with joy. The disciples apprehended their master better than did others, but they did not comprehend all that he said and did, or they would not have questioned him so often. Jesus patiently persisted in teaching and demonstrating the truth of being. His students saw this power of truth heal the sick, cast out evil, raise the dead. But the ultimate of this wonderful work was not spiritually discerned even by them until after the crucifixion, when their immaculate teacher stood before them, the victor over sickness, sin, disease, death, and the grave. Mortals obtain the harmony of health only as they forsake discord, acknowledge the supremacy of divine mind, and abandon their material beliefs. Eradicate the image of disease from the perturbed thought before it has taken tangible shape in conscious thought, alias the body, and you prevent the development of disease. This task becomes easy if you understand that every disease is an error and has no character nor type except what mortal mind assigns to it. By lifting thought above error or disease and contending persistently for truth, you destroy error. Whoever would demonstrate the healing of Christian science must abide strictly by its rules, heed every statement, and advance from the rudiments laid down. There is nothing difficult nor toilsome in this task when the way is pointed out. But self-denial, sincerity, Christianity, and persistence alone win the prize, as they usually do in every department of life. The test of all prayer lies in the answer to these questions. Do we love our neighbor better because of this asking? Do we pursue the old selfishness, satisfied with having prayed for something better, though we give no evidence of the sincerity of our requests by living consistently with our prayer? If selfishness has given place to kindness, we shall regard our neighbor unselfishly and bless them that curse us. But we shall never meet this great duty simply by asking that it may be done. There is a cross to be taken up before we can enjoy the fruition of our hope and faith. When will Jesus' professed followers learn to emulate him in all his ways and to imitate his mighty works? Those who procured the martyrdom of that righteous man would gladly have turned his sacred career into a mutilated doctrinal platform. May the Christians of today take up the more practical import of that career. It is possible, yea, it is the duty and privilege of every child, man, and woman to follow in some degree the example of the Master by the demonstration of truth and life, of health and holiness. It is proverbial that Florence Nightingale and other philanthropists engaged in humane labors have been able to undergo without sinking fatigues and exposures which ordinary people could not endure. The explanation lies in the support which they derived from the divine law rising above the human, the spiritual demand quelling the material, supplies energy and endurance surpassing all other aids, and forestalls the penalty which our beliefs would attach to our best deeds. Let us remember that the eternal law of right, though it can never annul the law which makes sin its own executioner, exempts man from all penalties but those due for wrongdoing. Constant toil, deprivations, exposures, and all untoward conditions, if without sin, can be experienced without suffering. Whatever it is your duty to do, you can do without harm to yourself. Question: how can I progress most rapidly in the understanding of Christian Science? Answer: study thoroughly the letter and imbibe the spirit. Adhere to the divine principle of Christian Science and follow the behests of God, abiding steadfastly in wisdom, truth, and love. In the science of mind, you will soon ascertain that error cannot destroy error. You will also learn that in science there is no transfer of evil suggestions from one mortal to another, for there is but one mind, and this ever-present omnipotent mind is reflected by man and governs the entire universe. You will learn that in Christian Science, the first duty is to obey God, to have one mind, and to love another as yourself. We all must learn that life is God. Ask yourself, am I living the life that approaches the supreme good? Am I demonstrating the healing power of truth and love? If so, then the way will grow brighter unto the perfect day. Your fruits will prove what the understanding of God brings to man. Hold perpetually this thought, that it is the spiritual idea, the Holy Ghost and Christ, which enables you to demonstrate with scientific certainty the rule of healing, based upon its divine principle, love, underlying, overlying, and encompassing all true being. Let's pray together silently for a few moments, and then pray aloud together the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power and the glory forever. Let's sing hymn number 41, 41. Come, labor on. Who dares stand idle on the harvest plain, while all around him waves the golden grain? And to each servant does the master say, go, work today. Number 41. This church is a branch of the Mother Church, the First Church of Christ Scientist in Boston, Massachusetts. We hold Sunday services at 11 a.m. and Wednesday testimony meetings at 7:30 p.m. We also have services in Spanish, Sundays at 12 noon and Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. All services are held in person and online, and all are welcome. Third Church offers Sunday school classes in person and online for children and teens. These free one-hour classes are available each Sunday. At Sunday school, students learn how much God loves them and cares for them. They also learn about the Bible characters and lessons and the healing power of prayer. For more information on times and classes, please send us an email, thirdchurch@thirdchurchnyc.com. Replays are available on our website in English and Spanish of many inspirational talks. Please visit the website at thirdchurchnyc.com. This meeting is now open for all to share experiences of healing and spiritual insights that prove God's ever-presence and power in their lives. If you're listening by telephone and would like to speak, press *6 and wait until your line is unmuted. Please speak directly into the microphone of your phone. Your message will be easier to hear if you do not use the speaker function. And to avoid feedback, please have only one device on at a time. If you're watching via Zoom, you can choose the raise your hand icon or unmute yourself and speak.
Yes, thank you very much for those wonderful readings. And it's interesting, New York City is the work capital of the world, by the way. And I've often thought of that, but that it is the work capital of the world. And I've spent, the readings talked about the children of Israel wandering through the wilderness and being fed with the manna from heaven. And I realized I worked for, over 30 years, just as a contractor. My average contract was maybe six or 9 months. I'd go from one contract to the next, always never knowing, supporting paying a mortgage, supporting a wife, a family, never knowing. Never looking for anything else but to God. And I remember one time I was coming between contracts, and I was working with my teacher during this period a lot, and I was a little worried, and he said to me, "Well, George, what do you do?" I said, "Well, I install computer systems." And he kind of said, "What do you do?" And I said, "Well, IBM operating systems, that's what I install." And he says, "That's not what I meant." He said, "Jesus said, 'My Father worketh hitherto, and I work.' Oh, your job is simply to see what your Father has already done." Oh. And now I say that every morning when I wake up before I start my day, which I'm still working, that my only job today is to see what my Father's already done. And it's a wonderful thought. Our teacher loved to ask questions that got right at the root of the problem. And so I'm very grateful for his insight and his help. I'm grateful for this wonderful truth in Christian Science. Our only job ever is simply to see what our Father has already done. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was born in Sri Lanka. So I was where my parents lived, there were no good schools nearby. So they put us far away in a convent run by the Irish nuns. So I was in the boarding school. So when I left that school, one friend gave me a New Testament and a picture of Jesus. I said, "Okay, I'll take it." And when I came to India to do my college, there too I was in the boarding. So when I went into my room, there was a shelf. So on the shelf, I put the New Testament and I put the picture of Jesus. And every morning when I get up, I have my shower and then light a candle and pray to Jesus and just take the New Testament and open, and whatever hits my eye, I read that and I put it back. So this was my practice every day. My father would send every 3 months money to my uncle's place, who was living near the college. He was a police inspector. So I would go and collect the money and come to college and pay my fees and keep my pocket money. Once I did not go because all my friends were going for a movie. So I wanted to go for the movie with them. So I said, okay, I'm not going to get the money now. I'm not going to go to my uncle's place today. I'm going for the movie. So I told my friends, I'm coming with you all for the movie. But when I went into my room to see, there was not a single penny. So I was kind of ashamed to tell my friends that I don't have the money. So I just lit the candle and I prayed. I said, God, please, I want to go for the movie, but I don't have any money here. After praying sincerely, I prayed. Then I lifted the New Testament to read. Under that, the exact movie fare and the bus fare were there. So that was a miracle in my life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your readings from the desk tonight. One of the provisions in the manual of the Mother Church is the duty of members to defend themselves daily against aggressive mental suggestion and not to be made to forget or to neglect their duty to God, to their leader, or mankind. That to me is work. That's righteous work. And it's so contemporary. I mean, we hear stories about misinformation, and I noticed today that the New York State Bar was having a webinar or a talk on selectively listening to media, not to be misled. Wow. In the New York Times, I saw something of an ethicist where this child was complaining about getting all sorts of things forwarded by their parent, their father, I think it was, that was sending these things that he'd clipped or heard or read. And a lot of it was misinformation that the child's, it was getting to be a thing where he was disagreeing with his father. The ethicist said, well, various things. He covers all the possibilities, but one of the possibilities, he said, well, have you considered talking with him and going over the media together and discussing what's credible and what's not, and what's being on guard and discerning what's truth and what's not. And this is so much what we work at in Christian Science is to keep our thoughts pure. One of the ways of praying is to focus thought on God, turning to God, affirming all the perfection of God and the qualities and the activity, and then claiming the allness of God and the nothingness of matter or not good, evil, and that is a form of prayer to concentrate on the true and to dismiss the untrue, the error. And that is something. It's becoming so contemporary. It's today, and and the lessons are learned are from a long time ago. But that to me is the work of the righteous, is to keep thought pure, keep thought in line. A friend of mine said to me not too long ago that that we don't heal, God heals. Our work is to keep our thoughts in line with God. And recently in the lesson, it said that God will heal, or man will heal when he is governed by God. That God is the healer, and when we're governed by God, our thoughts, in accord with the Father, will be healing thoughts. This also is the nature of prayer and work in science. You mentioned about prayer this in your readings this evening, and that is my understanding of one aspect or one perception of prayer.
Thank you for those readings on work, and for all of the comments that have been made about the work that we do. And this is just a brief sharing about an idea that I've had that relates to some of the things that have been touched on, like media and what we allow into our thoughts, and how we work to protect our thought. And there's a lot to be concerned about with media and social media and things like that. But one of the things that I've noticed is really good about it is that for me, it's always been kind of a simple but powerful truth that if we look for good, we usually find it. And if we look for something else, we usually find that. And Instagram has made that so obvious now that it's possible to completely curate your world. And I use Instagram a lot because I'm an artist, and you need that to post your work. And that's mostly what I use it for. And so it's mostly images. But there are other things that come up. But the wonderful thing about the logarithms they use is that they give you what you're looking for. And they are able to control it so carefully that if you just pause for a second longer on some video or something, then you get 5 more just like it. And I like all of the posts and the videos that are beautiful. I used to love the animal rescue ones, but now I notice that they're mostly AI, so I don't watch those anymore. But the point is that because it watches what I spend time on, what I pause to notice and enjoy, I get more of it. So when I go on Instagram, my world on Instagram is probably very different from somebody else's world on Instagram, but I'm able to get the good that I'm looking for, and it's finding me. And I don't know if that was ever anyone's intention with social media. I'm sure it wasn't quite, but it's had that wonderful, to me, spiritual effect on making my life better, more beautiful, more of how I want it to be. And I think for me, I have to look for all these little signs of goodness in the things that many of us have concerns about, rightly have concerns about. But there are things about it that are pretty wonderful. And so I'm grateful for that. Thank you again for your readings.
Thank you. And thanks to you all for your testimonies and supportive prayers at this meeting. Let's conclude with hymn number 82. I'll read all 3 verses. God is working his purpose out as year succeeds to year. God is working his purpose out, and the time is drawing near. Nearer and nearer draws the time that shall surely be when the earth shall be filled with the glory of God as the waters cover the sea. What can we do to work God's work, to prosper and increase the brotherhood of all mankind, the reign of the Prince of Peace? What can we do to hasten the time that shall surely be when the earth shall be filled with the glory of God as the waters cover the sea? March we forth in the strength of God with the banner of Christ unfurled, that the light of the glorious gospel of truth may shine throughout the world. Fight we the fight with sorrow and sin to set their captives free, that the earth may be filled with the glory of God as the waters cover the sea. Number 82.